Good evening. You're welcome to News at 6 from the studios of Big Family Radio. Now the top stories are: the Mahama government has mentioned that the National Cathedral audit report is due this month. The national coordinator of the district's road improvement program has clarified that President Mahama never promised to end Galamsey in 120 days. The minority leader, Honorable Afenyo Makin, has mocked Mahama's 24-hour economy as a political gimmick. And in the international news, France pledges support as Syrian president visits Paris. In entertainment, Ghanaian singer Afia has given reasons Ghanaian musicians don't engage in lavish giveaways. Let's go for a quick commercial break, and when we are back, I would give you the details of these stories and more.
Admission. Are you looking for a computer institution with a serene atmosphere in equipping you with the ability to deepen your understanding and in-depth knowledge in computerization? Then the answer is Big Family Multimedia Institute. Our dedicated and experienced teachers are ready to provide personal attention, support, and help you bring your fusion to bear. We are located at Amasama and Dobrogono, Upper Class Junction, and Santa Maria Family and Friend. For more information, contact 0555 20 80 56 0540 932 188. Website bfmnetworks.com. Email info@bfmnetwork.com. Other affiliates include Center for Trade, Big Family TV, Big Family News, Big Family Radio, Big Family Event, Big Family Multimedia Institute, KabaraInfo.com, Trustees, Okman Motors, Soko Mall, ABK TV Ghana. Enroll now and experience the difference.
You are all that matters.
You're welcome back. My name is Esther Kosyak-Bobli. Now the details of the stories. President John Dramani Mahama has reaffirmed his government's resolve to combat corruption, announcing an independent audit of the National Cathedral project initiated by the previous Akufo-Addo administration. In a national address on Wednesday, May 7th, marking his first 120 days in office, President Mahama revealed that global audit firm Deloitte has been tasked with auditing the controversial project. War against corruption continues unabated. Deloitte and Touche is conducting an independent audit of the National Cathedral project. I expect their report by the end of the month. President Mahama also disclosed that investigations are ongoing into other government initiatives, including the organization of the 13th African Games. A number of officials have been invited and questioned concerning the 13th African Games, he further went ahead to say. These efforts form part of broader anti-corruption and accountability measures promised by Mahama during his campaign and reaffirmed in his early days in office.
Commitment to good governance and accountability is tackling corruption and eliminating waste. I promise to initiate inquiries and forensic audits into several critical matters of public interest. This war against corruption continues unabated. The Minister for Health is reviewing the Auditor General's report on the COVID-19 expenditures. After the review, the appropriate actions will be taken. The Sputnik V scandal is under investigation. The Minister for Finance has launched an inquiry into the collapse of indigenous banks and financial institutions. And make no mistakes, facts will be unearthed, culprits will be punished, and lessons will be learned. The Minister for Energy and Green Transition has commenced investigations into the PDS scandal. Deloitte and Touche is conducting an independent audit of the National Cathedral project. I expect their report by the end of this month. A number of officials have been invited and questioned concerning the 13th African Games. On April 30th, 2025, the Attorney General filed 11 charges against a former National Signals Bureau Director General and others for various offenses. Charges will also be filed in the Accra SkyTrain and the National Service Ghost Name scandals. The Office of the Presidential Advisor on Corruption will continue to receive complaints and reports regarding graft for onward transmission to the Attorney General, building on the success of the oral mechanism, which received over 2,000 complaints in just a few weeks. As promised, my commitment to fighting corruption is not limited to recovering loot from past appointees. We will also ensure that our own appointees serve Ghanaians responsibly and are held to the highest standards of accountability.
National Coordinator of the District Road Improvement Program, DRIP, Neil Ante van der Poy, has clarified that President John Dramani Mahama did not promise to end illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey, within 120 days, emphasizing that no such timeline was ever mentioned in the president's public statement. Speaking with the media on Thursday, May 8th, Van der Poy explained that although President Mahama has committed to ending galamsey, he did not specify a definite time frame for achieving that goal. He went ahead to say it is not a fight that will end in 120 days, and President Mahama did not say anywhere that within 120 days he will end galamsey. He said he will end galamsey, so it could be today, 1 year, and others, he said. He urged the public to focus on the clear commitment being demonstrated by the administration, rather than expecting a swift resolution to a deeply entrenched issue. What we should expect to do is that the effort being put into the fight and the sort of commitment that is being shown will be taken over by all of us to end this menace. His remarks come amid ongoing public debate surrounding the government anti-galamsey campaign and its connection to broader claims about the administration's achievements within its first 120 days. As part of efforts to address illegal mining, Minister of Government Communications, Felix Kwakye Ofosu, recently announced plans to repeal Legislative Instrument LI 2462, which currently permits mining in forest reserves.
For example, if government says, I will end galamsey, it is not an event. It's a process. And every indication, the color of our rivers have not changed, because they are not going to change in 120 days, no matter what you do. Everyone, including all these CSOs and NGOs involved in the galamsey fight, have come to the conclusion that if for nothing at all, they've seen a great effort being made. They've seen this fight, this particular fight, being much more an escalation of what we saw some time ago. They've seen a commitment on the part of the head and on the part of the main actor in the game. Erastus Hasaredonko himself has concluded that even though it is not perfect, he is impressed with the attitude and the commitment shown so far towards the fight to eliminate galamsey from our forests. It is not a fight that is going to begin and end 120 days. And President Mahama did not say it anywhere that within 120 days he will end galamsey. He didn't say it anywhere. I want anyone to put me to test and tell me President Mahama said it at this platform that within 120 days he will end galamsey. He never said it there. He said he will end galamsey. So it could be today, tomorrow, 1 year. So what we should expect to do, that the efforts being put in and the sort of commitment that is being shown will be taken over by all of us as a people to end this menace.
The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Agnes Naa Momolati, has clarified the circumstances surrounding the termination of the school feeding contracts. Speaking in an exclusive interview with Ghana Weekend, the minister explained that the decision was not made unilaterally by the government but in collaboration with the World Bank, which has specific criteria and conditions that must be met. We are not doing this alone. We are doing it with the World Bank. There are some criteria and conditions to meet, and we didn't want to be harsh on the caterers. In all honesty, most of them, they don't have valid contracts, she further added. According to her, following the last general elections, a directive was issued by the former coordinator of the program, asking caterers to continue cooking temporarily. This happened during the transition period, which created some operational ambiguity. She went ahead to say they are not supposed to move to a digital recruitment system with the support of the World Bank, but because of the academic calendar, they could not implement it as swiftly as they would have liked. That's why they are asking for some time to transition smoothly. It doesn't mean we should maintain the current system without reform. The Krowo MP acknowledged that while some caterers continued cooking, many were inconsistent or had stopped altogether during the school break. School was on vacation and they are just resuming. Monitoring reports showed that most of the caterers were not cooking, and they are aware of that. Some did cook, but not consistently. So for those saying they made purchases and investments, I do sympathize with them.
As immediate as you would love to do it with the World Bank. And so you are pleading for time to transition smoothly. It doesn't mean that you should just leave the system as it is. They know they have the opportunity to reapply if they are interested. So sometimes they've been in the known from the very beginning. School has been on vacation. They are just resuming. And most of them from monitoring were not cooking. Most of them were not cooking. And they are very much aware they were not cooking. And some too were cooking, but not consistently. And so for them to say they had done purchases and things already, I sympathize with the situation. There's no room for compensation. But for the period that they have cooked, they will be paid. Some have sent some opinion leaders and things to us. But I've always reassured as immediate.
In other stories, Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin has launched a stinging critique of President John Dramani Mahama's flagship 24-hour economy initiative, dismissing it as a political gimmick that has failed to deliver on its promises. Speaking at a minority press conference following the president's national address on his administration's first 120 days, Afenyo-Markin took aim at the touted program, accusing the government of relying on symbolic gestures rather than substantive policy outcomes. It is rich to hear the president tell us in the SONA that the flagship program, the 24-hour economy, also known as 133, one job, 3 shifts, will find space in the 2025 budget. He said, What did we hear? Another matriculal. He further ridiculed the government's approach, arguing that the formation of yet another committee to steer the program only underscores its lack of direction and seriousness. He further went on to say, yesterday, as typical of them, they inaugurated another committee responsible for enacting the 24-hour economy. Hey, President Mahama, Eban is saying, 24-hour economy at Unsium. The minority leader's remark reflects mounting skepticism from the opposition benches, who contend that despite high-level rhetoric, there is little to show in terms of job creation, improved productivity, or economic stimulation. The 24-hour economy initiative, first introduced by Mahama as a sweeping labor and productivity reform, is intended to extend working hours in key sectors by operating in 3 shifts, thereby creating employment and attracting investment. The government claims that pilot phases have commenced in select public institutions such as the DVLA, Passport Office, and Ghana Publishing Company.
Now it is rich to hear the president